Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. I've been seeing all your comments on TikTok asking me for reviews analysis for this one. So today, it's finally happening. But before we get into that, don't forget to check this exclusive discount for it. You can find the link in both the video description and the top comment below. Now let's not delay any further and jump right into the details.
To get things started, let's hear from our first reviewer.
This reviewer had been eyeing e-bikes for a while before finally taking the plunge. Unlike many who see them as primarily for city commuting, our reviewer lives in the suburbs and noticed their increasing popularity in the area. The purchase was driven by a combination of price, perceived power, and timely availability, as this client was planning a trip to the ocean and wanted to test it out beforehand. The fact that this scooter is foldable was a plus, although initially their wife wasn't thrilled about it taking up space in the SUV. However, it ended up fitting perfectly alongside everything else. Assembly was a breeze, mostly involving unpacking the box. This bike, though, is quite heavy. The reviewer appreciated the included phone holder and chain lock, though the lock uses a key rather than a combination. One thing our reviewer immediately realized was the need for mirrors. The LCD screen and gear switch take up handlebar space, making standard mirror placement difficult. They plan to add a camera to the back for better visibility. The lights, both front and rear, are very bright and effective. There was a slight learning curve, especially regarding the pedal assist. Initially, holding the throttle for long distances was tiring, but the pedal assist allows for cruising without constant throttle control. Each speed level limits the maximum speed, with level 1 being quite slow. The reviewer managed to hit 26 miles per hour and believes it could go faster. Battery life is impressive. It charges relatively quickly and provided a good range. The LCD screen displays useful information like riding time, trip mileage, and total mileage. The client was cautious about battery drain during their vacation, not wanting to risk running out of power without a charger. Even with 3 bars remaining, the battery still had plenty of charge. For those hesitant about the speed, starting in level 1 provides a gentle, almost standard bike-like experience. Overall, this is a purchase our reviewer would happily repeat and highly recommends. They found it fun, efficient, fast, and generally awesome. The step-through design makes getting on and off much easier. Being over 6 feet tall, they appreciated the adjustable seat height. Remember to always wear a helmet.
Awesome. Let's hear what our next reviewer has to share about their experience.
This reviewer was initially intimidated by the size of this electric bike, but overall, their experience has been very positive. Assembly proved surprisingly straightforward. The most challenging aspect was actually unpacking it. While the included tool kit and pump were appreciated, using power tools significantly sped up the process. One minor hiccup involved a brake sensor that needed adjustment to allow the motor to run freely, but the reviewer plans to seek professional advice before attempting any hydraulic adjustments. The bike's build quality impressed our reviewer. The frame is described as beefy with excellent welds, and the fenders, lights, and reflectors appear robust. The inclusion of a rear rack is considered almost essential for maneuvering such a substantial machine. The reviewer noted that the braking performance is very good. It's a large and weighty piece of equipment. This client felt it was comparable to driving a truck rather than a car, noting a somewhat poor turning radius. However, the powerful motor more than compensates for the weight. The battery fits snugly, although the charging cable feels a bit flimsy, and a sturdier connection would be welcome. The controller is neatly tucked away and pre-connected. The first ride was a bit wobbly, especially considering the reviewer's weight. There were initial concerns about the motor struggling, but those fears were quickly dispelled. The bike offers impressive power, requiring some adjustment to manage its acceleration from a standstill. A gentle touch on the throttle is recommended due to the ample torque. A minor spill on the first ride prompted an immediate helmet purchase, leading to increased confidence on subsequent rides. Several miles were comfortably covered without fatigue, and the seat is comfortable. While the reviewer doesn't intend to test the bike's top speed, they found the lower pedal assist levels perfectly adequate. Battery life remains to be seen, but realistic expectatio.
Wonderful. Now, let's explore the feedback from our next reviewer.
This reviewer is genuinely impressed with the electric bike. The first thing they mention is how great it looks, but more importantly, it rides exceptionally well too. They emphasized its speed, noting they've personally reached speeds of 34 mph and they weigh around 170 pounds, so that gives you an idea of its capability. The seat is apparently very comfortable, which is a big plus for longer rides. Initially, there were a couple of minor issues. It was missing a small rubber washer for the battery port, and the front fender had a scratch. However, the manufacturer promptly addressed these problems and sent replacements. The client wants to stress the importance of reading the owner's manual. Also, they found that the email address provided in the manual is the best way to contact them, as the one on their website wasn't working. Overall, the customer is very happy with the bike so far. It's worth noting that it's a fairly large bike and they wouldn't recommend it if you're shorter than 57. Although it's foldable, the weight makes it more suitable for transport on a hitch rack. While occasional folding is manageable, it does take up a considerable amount of space when folded. On the bright side, assembly was straightforward, taking around 20 minutes, thanks to a very helpful step-by-step video on YouTube.
And that's a wrap. If this video was helpful, like and subscribe. Got questions? Let's chat in the comments. See you soon.